Okay. Here we are. I mentioned this time was coming, but it's the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Big fan of Ace Attorney games. I've played every single one, actually, except for Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations 2. That's the only other one, aside from these. Alright, let's get into it. Oh, well, first let me check some options here. I don't think I'll be turning off music, since I don't think this game would get claimed on YouTube, but who knows. But this is one of those games that I could just play through a second time. It's not like there's going to be big game-breaking bugs like Bravely Default 2. Oh wait, what? Story mode. Turn this on to enable story mode in place of autoplay, allowing you to progress the game automatically without having to press any buttons. The answers to questions, presentation of evidence, etc. are all handled on your behalf. Oh! That kind of makes, it kind of makes those walkthrough videos obsolete. I mean, not obsolete, but you could just record a marathon of this with story mode on. That'd be interesting. Like, just a 24-hour stream. I mean... I was thinking you could do like a 24-hour stream for charity, but if you're not really playing the game, it kind of doesn't count, I guess, right? Yeah. There's probably some use for it. Well, I mean, of course, for someone who just wants to experience the story, that's cool too. Or like if you just want to re-experience the story without actually knowing the, like relearning the answers or whatever. It's still nice. And then they've got whole, geez, achievement system, okay, gallery, probably all the other stuff. Okay. Extra short episodes. I did get the early edition of this game, so it came with the code that I put in, but that might spoil the game for y'all. Alright. Well, of course, new game. This is a new game.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Oh, it's got the UK date. 22nd of November. Well, the rest of the world date, I suppose you would say. The non-American date. States weirdos. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants Antechamber 5. Still can't believe it. Still can't believe this is happening. Believe that just beyond the doors, this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryonosuke Naruhodo. I'm a a second-year student at Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. Now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. We'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, until the judge has given his verdict on the case. No one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Yonosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Oh, look, they do the S. They spelled apologizing with an S. How nice. Just like always. Though, I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. Obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I never murder someone. And there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Yonosuke. Kazuma Asuki, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. Our student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet... He said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago? Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma! Looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. No, I've forever been dreaming of this day. Government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you. I'm proud. As your friend. There's not a soul at the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then, partner. Oh, he said partner. Okay. I wish I could do a Yuri Lowenthal voice. From now on, just picture that everything Kazuma says is in a Yuri Lowenthal voice, because he said partner. One time. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Oh, who's this? What kind of voice we're gonna have for him? Well, this case has personal significance to me. Never mind that for now. Asuki, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. Let's see. I'll go at once then. Oh, I hadn't considered this. Man. I have female friends, but, I don't think any of them would do these voices for me. Daily. I mean, I wouldn't ask my male friends that either, it's just that I can do the male voices. Okay, I'll try a higher pitched voice, and if I can't do it, I think I'm just not gonna read the voices anymore. It was good while it lasted, it was a whole 12 minutes. Alright. Okay, hold on.
I shall accompany you.
Yeah, that's troublesome to do. I don't think I can do that for a long period of time. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. And I'm just thinking of Tekken characters now. I know that's a real name. I know first and foremost Kazuma's a real name. But now all I can think of is Shoto. Even though he's a swordie. This character's definitely a swordie. This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. Heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asugi has told me about you. You're best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asugi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked. Never granted again. What? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asugi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas studies. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. Sure, that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. See, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the The judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. Do? But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are about to be cut short. That's how you pronounce that. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asaki must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for not failing to... Ooh. Oh, that was fast. Okay. Let's say. For failing to appear. Okay, I got you. Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Oh, nice, Japan. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kasuma's dreams of studying abroad are... What's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. So, absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, embarked on that unforgettable trial. One and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. I'm curious about how this will be... Like, this will be one of these situations where the game was Japanese, so everything was in Japanese, and then we go to London and everything is in English, and like people speaking English and not understanding it. Like they might do a thing where it's just squiggles when people speak English because you don't know it. Maybe. I'm curious. Oh, his eyes. So, this is a courtroom. Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in this land has more power. Oh, much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Yeah, look at them. They all look like... Wait, can you... That kind of looks like military. It's just a bunch of military guys. And how far is the camera gonna... Oh, okay. Yeah, look at that. Oh my goodness. And then that kanji there. So let's see. Oh, this is tree, and then person, then horizontal stroke, then mouth, person. I have no idea what that first kanji says, but the second one looks like hold. Anyway. Oh yes, okay. Lots of military and other uniforms here. Powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. Now, you need to concentrate, Minosuke. It's about to begin. Court will now hear the trial. Minosuke Naruhodo. This guy, okay. Oh, ouchie. Oh boy. I can't. I can't for a whole trial with this guy. Like I know his name's Ouchie, right? But like to translate, this dude's a total Eugene. Like this guy, if he had a voice, his voice would be like the Like, you know the
Babe, it's 4 p.m. Time for your face flattening.
he would be the shriveled up Wojak that says,
Yes, honey. Your prosecution is ready, Your Excellency.
this is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I'd like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? It's the question the professor meant. Then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. I'm standing here beside the defendant. I hope it's clear who will advocate.
Yes!
What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? Oh, that had 3 A's. Sorry. What? Oh, okay. But now he's using Ryan lines. What are you playing at? He's got to be like Scottish Yuri Lowenthal, even though he's from Japan. So many memes that could be made. What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything. Oh wait, wrong person. Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided to not tell you. Professor Mikotoba should have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defense's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defense's innocence is so apparent he's confident that he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. Not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you're no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Yunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? So all the relevant information for this case can be found in the courtroom. But I can't even find that. Simple. You can access the court record with the press of R. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. You simply need to tech Ryunosuke. I just have to tech for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead, with R. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. Okay. John H. Wilson, victim in this case. Ooh. Taketsuchi Ouchi. Okay, Taketsuchi. I know Ouchi is like pain, cause like the Pain family, but Taketsuchi. I wonder what the kanji for that is. Cause like Taketsuchi. Okay, no, let me break it down. So Taketsuchi. Yeah, like Taketsuchi could be written like that. Oh, I realize I don't have a board to help you all see what I'm drawing out. No, like Taketsuchi kinda looks like, well, if it's written the way I'm imagining, where like the second kanji is okay, think of a plus but with a line under it. So think of when you have plus or minus in math, but it's connected, so it looks like a cross, like, you know, a crucifix in the ground, right? Which normally means like land or do, right? Well, it's like Taketsuchi could, I mean, Take could, it could look like, and then Take, like the first kanji could look like, well, it kind of looks like the kanji that's used to make vacuum, which is like clean, like clean up a machine. But like, anyway, Taketsuchi kind of looks like Bushi, which is like samurai, because like Bushido is like samurai code or something like that, right? So Bushi, he kind of looks like a samurai, and like Ouchi is Ouchi, so he's like samurai Ouchi, maybe. I don't know. Citation needed. I'm not Japanese. And you'd better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record and press X to present. Try it now. I'm curious to see what'll happen if I fail, but let me not do that.
Yes!
Yes? Victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
Do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. Nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. Fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then. Partner? Maybe I should go for the Yuri Lowenthal voice for him, but that would get tiring really fast. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I know his name, but still. I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? Oh. State before the court the cause of death. Cause of death. Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence? By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows us the professor's cause of death, and select present. Do it now! Can I examine? Yes, I can. Victim, John H. Wilson. Male. British. Time of death, 19th of November, shortly after 2 p.m. Cause of death, single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage. Look at it, look at how they spell hemorrhage, it's great! Hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through body. Hemorrhage! Ah, they spell it like my grandfather. Oh yes, present with X.
Yes!
When you're like my grandfather or any other place that predominantly learns English from people from the UK, hemorrhage, people who get caught on Chris Hansen's show, that's spelled P-A-E, not P-E-D. Hemorrhage is spelled instead of H-E-R, and then the rest of hemorrhage is spelled H-A-E. Yeah. So it depends on the time period and the region. Oh, I like this shuffling through documents. They're all folded right down the middle. I don't like this. Oh wait, no, maybe they write vertically, so it is folded? Okay, that's fine. I think. Some good papers. It's a good shuffling animation. He's just like looking through this paperwork like anyone else would. It's pretty nice. I like this air of clumsiness to him.
According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of a crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, Constable. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record.
Yeah.
So that's photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Oh no. 3D art's better than 2D. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Oh, he's asserting dominance. A quick T-pose.
Certainly, Your Excellency.
Ooh, that's a good screenshot. Hold on.
Babe, it's time for your peen flattening. Certainly, Your Excellency.
So without further ado, in order to... Oh no, that's him. I forgot his voice already. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. Professor? Do you mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes. Clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. That doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Of course. He was speaking with me before. He simply said, Kazuma Asugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you could give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment. Control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Oh. I need to write down a spreadsheet of voices if I'm going to keep doing this. Okay. I need more staff members. Of course. My name is... What kind of voice would he... Satoru Hosonaga. Hosonaga. What did that say? Hosonaga. Hosonaga. Satoru Hosonaga. Head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Oh no, it's All Might. Oh, you're right, you seem to be coughing up some, No, you can't do that, you're a waiter. No, 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 you can't do that. It's not up to code. I don't care if this is Japan. It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really, really should. That dude's just casually bleeding. Is he poisoned? As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants. An Occidental eatery 3 days ago. Understood, Osunaga-san. You will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir.
And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. I have a few dinners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over and there were only 3 tables still occupied. I get some of my memory of it too. There's hardly anyone else in the place. He's just bleeding everywhere. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. Found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. Standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good squeaky voice. See, he does sound like the Yes Honey guy. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defendant. Ruhodo. Sorry, Ryunosuke, you'll have your chance to fight back. Now we must just quietly listen to the witness.
If I may confirm one point, standing beside the victim with the gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today.
Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait. What did he just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? That's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do?
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you?
With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud.
Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw. Osunaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Actually, I have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look, if you'd like to. Let's see. A sketch of the establishment layout you've drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Did he use his blood to write that X? This guy, no regards for human safety. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Yeah, he coughs in all the tomato soup. And all the ketchup. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? And the plan for the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What is that about? He was completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. This guy's dying. Why is he dying? Is he poisoned? Like, what happened? Waiter's business card. This guy's looking like me at the start of the year. I mean, that was happening to me. So the court has now heard a what? I want to say that without being demonetized. I'm gonna go with Precis? C? A Précis, maybe? I mean, that looks French. So maybe it's like Précis? So the court has now heard a précis of the case. See. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we're looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? You admit your guilt at this stage. The court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial's unusual about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so is the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. You know, this kind of still looks like the Japanese legal system. I'm joking, I'm not from Japan, I wouldn't know anything. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. Trust you. Yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back. Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer's duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you going to just abandon that duty? Are you just going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll just see how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Ouchie, please continue with the proceedings.
Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint. I can be a devil when I want to be.
Oh yeah, this is definitely... He's the type of person who goes around calling himself a Sigma male, but like, you know, back in the 1800s. Or no, it was the 1900s that Japan opened up its doors, right? Yeah, there's photographs. Oh my goodness. It's 1900s. I forgot my history.
In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced. Forever.
Yeah, he's Fang from Street Fighter V. You're absolutely right. Yeah, forget Phoenix Wright in Smash. Let's get Ouchie in Smash. Just picture it in Smash Brothers. Ouchie brings the pain. Psh, the Smash tag. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Oh boy.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
Oh. Okay. There's a lot of dudes. Water. I'm out of water. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army's Sergeant... Yes, no, sir. Reporting for duty, sir.
Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Yorio Koruteka at your service.
Did I even pronounce that right? Hold up. Korekuta. Yeah, I didn't.
Yorio Korekuta at your service.
An antique dealer and soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
It must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curious with which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with a rich clientele. Right, I see, although, to be honest, the sergeant looks like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking Foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman there who unloaded his firearms, sir. Was that a baby? Okay, I thought I heard a baby, like, crying in my ear. I might have just, like, hiccuped or burped or something and not noticed. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. Oh, so lore-wise he's really hard to understand, so maybe he's, like, screaming very, very loud. Oh, maybe he's like with the drill sergeant that's like, their voice is cracking from screaming, like they're like croak screaming at you. Like those drill sergeants that like squeak, and if you laugh at them for squeaking and sounding raspy, they just like beat the crap out of you even harder. I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So this decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier's claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yeah.
Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable?
If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. State everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. Okay, yeah, he's got a baby. Alright, definitely, I can hear that.
Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon.
Okay, wait, is that how that's pronounced? Getting a lot of good vocabulary here. I've seen this written, but I've never had to say it out loud. This is a good learning experience. Sure. Big. Alright. What does Siri say? Or, well, Samsung Girl say, Sam.
Acerbic.
Acerbic. Thank you, Samsung Girl. Best waifu. Alright, had that right. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at...
Why? What is this?
I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. That black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
Well, so you, Sergeant Osa, have actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy.
What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day.
Got a nice little Yakuza sword there. I like this. Very red and gold for good luck. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Yunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, there obviously was a criminal on the scene somewhere. But somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Yunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. This is the part I've been waiting for. Cross-examine? What now?
As we've heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Certainly. The testimony of the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean the defense. Demands its right to a cross-examination.
Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Well played, well played. Huh? How do you know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it, it is irrelevant. But Kazuma's so commanding.
Very well.
Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witness. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You expose the lies of the witness's statements. How? He didn't fire the gun, which means that what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's all just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves that the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Oh, such a weak slap. It's like two duck feet landing on a desk. It's like seagull's feet. It's like some cheeky pinkers. All right then, it's all or nothing.
Well, I think I should press him on everything, of course.
Yes!
Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask.
Just ask about anything that catches your attention, anything that bothers you.
Alright then, this beef steak you mentioned, what kind of food is that?
Attention! Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal vigorously corked on a cast iron grill, served piping hot.
Oh.
If food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet.
Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that?
Attention! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep-fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it! Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir.
Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oh, sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying?
Negative.
Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Ooh, for my first press, okay.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden Kiryu, the military gentleman.
Yes!
Just yes. I have no idea what you're talking about. A koban, boy. A koban? You mean an old Edo coin?
The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoi period entered my possession. Took myself to the restaurant the following day with said items secreted in my bosom pocket, in hope of an affluent.
What? What is this word? Cognoscent? Cognoscent? Is that French? Or, like, it could be yeah, it's not cognoscent. Cognoscente. Oh god. Alright. It's time for Samsung waifu to tell me how this is pronounced. How is this pronounced?
Cognoscenti.
Cognoscenti? Thank you, Samsung girl. Cognoscenti.
In hopes, an affluent cognoscenti appraised of its indisputable value being present.
So you were hoping to sell your Kaban coin to Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant.
Yes, it's quite clear when you're going through with this boy. You're about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Kaban. Isn't that so?
Well...
You little upstart, cadet. You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination.
Oh, no, I didn't say a thing. Although penniless might be just the word I was looking for.
In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of midday luncheon. There remained a precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business.
The gentleman
Beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect.
I see. Yeah, the 3D style is great. I love it. And welcome to the stream.
At the precise moment a firearm was discharged, I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes.
Yes!
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time?
Affirmative. We saw you, laughing, cackling like a madman, as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian.
It's impossible. I only... What a weak slap. Need to just confirm 1 point, please.
What's that, Private?
Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table.
And so what if it was?
Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun.
Ah! Double R!
My sixth sense. Sorry?
My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, Cadet.
Surely that's not really possible, is it?
Do you think I'd have gotten where I am today in the army, son, if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son?
Well, it would seem this soldier's absolutely convinced he saw you do the deed. This is not good.
The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian. And from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Yes!
Yes. It's almost like sarcasm. Of like, yes! Demonstration of a strong slap. I don't know, it'd be like really crunchy. It'd be like a good, like they did in the old games. But I mean, he does have like weak hands. Maybe as he develops as a lawyer, there'll be some character development where his eyes aren't darting all over, and when he gives the desk a slap, it's like a good, like a good, crunchy, classic Ace Attorney. That's wrong. So this black uniformed university cadet. So you're saying that was
just about enough of your sauce, Cadet.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
Who else do you see around here in a black uniform,
Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but...
It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on him. From behind his back, you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me.
What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court, thrust it in the witness's face, and make him choke on it. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice, dominant, assertive friend of mine. So yeah, I'm gonna present evidence on that because the guy was shot from the front, not the back. But I want to hear what this guy has to say with his basket head.
Yes!
On your hands and knees. Could you explain that, please?
That's right, spurning the arthritis I was, in order to retrieve the lost piece.
What lost piece are you referring to?
The Koban, of course. The exquisite Oye-era Koban coin. I had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal.
Translator's note. Masticated means was chewing. He means chewing. Masticated.
His meal. To revert to my eyes from the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it, and then it happened.
You heard the gunshot, you mean?
None other than. Though it was no concern of mine, I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure.
So, in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred.
Indeed. Myself, I did not.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving testimony by pressing the tech button. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency. When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seem to contradict each other, present your evidence with X, then rip the witness apart. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart, and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record. Find an inconsistency with the witness's statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. Hear the witness's statements over and over again, as many times as you'd like. So keep your head and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. Yeah, maybe the Yuri Lowenthal would be better if he continues saying partner for the rest of the... Yeah, if he continues saying partner. Yeah, Kazuma's got that 10-hit combo. You just press A 10 times and he just launches people, right? Alright, so you were ingesting regulation beefsteak. Such a terrible line. Alright. Well, my boy, he was shot in the chest.
Yes!
He's just sweating and shivering. Yeah, I love good regulation beefsteak. It's all up to code. The waiter boy over there was bleeding all over my steak. What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. Every time he slaps the desk, it sounds like when barefoot Overwatch characters are walking, just the sound of, like, feet. Yes, I like that. OSHA approved beefsteak. Look are you kidding me? Well, actually, no. I can actually tell a story of a beefsteak that was served. Oh God. There's a YouTube playlist that showed up when I was sick in bed and I couldn't move. And I was, listening to YouTube videos because I was sick 6 months ago. And this playlist called Anime Feet Friday came on, and I literally couldn't do anything about it because I was sick in bed and coughing up like tiny bits of blood, and I just couldn't sit up because my ribs were hurting. And there's a playlist that's just out here called Anime Feet Friday. Now, since I was listening to this playlist, I didn't see it, but I think it's like anime, video game, like just, I don't know. I imagine it's like a slideshow of feet from anime cartoons or it's on YouTube, so I know it's not H stuff, I would hope. But like games, anime, or whatever, right? But like there's like lo-fi music playing. So it's kind of like the girls studying the lo-fi music thing, but it's probably just a bunch of like a shuffle of like feet playing. But then came the podcast, because it sounded like music, but there were podcasts about someone talking about, like how Wave Racer Diva's feet are looking like a delicious snack. And I was like, no, I can't get up, please, no. So I just had to turn off my headset, because I didn't want to hear it anymore. I mean, by all means, I'm like, people can like whatever they like, and I don't mind that. And I'd much rather hear stories about how someone thinks that like anime girl or like video game girl feet are like cute or whatever, right? As long as it's not like, I'm not trying to kink shame, but at least because they're drawn or they're fictional characters, it could be your headcanon that their feet are clean. That's fine. You just think you got cute, dainty little feet or whatever, right? It's when people are like, oh man, this real life girl, like she was running and she was wearing thigh-high boots, and oh my god, the smell of when she takes off her boots. That's when I'm like, hard pass, because nope. Now it's about smell and lack of hygiene, and I do not allow that. But let me go back to the blue steak story. So our college, they were serving us steaks on a steak night, and it was really nice. All the steaks were blue. I don't know if you know what blue steak means, but blue steak means that when you cut open that steak, it is purple inside. It looks like when you cut a gummy bear in half, because that is not cooked. It is jiggly, and it is blue and purple on the inside. And it looks like someone was suffocated. Yeah. Oh, we're still doing this playthrough. I mean, yes, there's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense.
What can this print possibly tell us we don't already know?
Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond a doubt, Your Excellency, that there's no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what?
You talking about?
It's apparent
apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense. But there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement.
What?
Sergeant Sergeant Iyesa Nosa.
Ah, it's Ryan time.
Yes, sir. What, sir?
Thanks for the follow.
The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir.
I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
Yes! But no, that just can't be.
And why not, cadet?
Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it?
Oh, baby. What the... What is that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again.
Certainly, there's a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa?
Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Carnival steak, sir. What?
The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yesanosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
That's absurd.
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom.
Oh! The babby!
It's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw it.
No, the babby snot.
University cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
Yes! But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either?
Myself, I've
Already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Just like it's like the Shack meme where it's like gunshots, bombs, fires, I sleep, coin falls to the ground, real shiz. Oh yes, you were looking for your Kaban coin, weren't you? Indeed! The prized Hoei Koban. Hunting around under the table, I was... in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed, I did, but heeded it or not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Oye treasure. Oye treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Koban was lost to me.
No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. And this is old. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive, no matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What?
He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he?
Ugh. Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. He will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear?
As clear as curical glass, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir.
Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think.
Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Aido.
It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny.
Aido. Attention. Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy.
Why the babies gotta always have snot? I don't like kids with snot.
True culprit. Even if I saw it wasn't the precise moment, even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that they were the only personnel present.
Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out.
These testimonies are certainly compelling.
Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies.
I need all these. Some good Twitter images.
It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime council?
Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As it can be plainly seen, there's only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in company of anyone else.
This doesn't make any sense.
The court will add this new photographic evidence to the court record.
Hey, look at it, he's got that carbonated water, that newfangled carbonated water, and a steak lunch. Everyone's just eating steak out here.
don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible. I saw that moment. Waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. It's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we've just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are all very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. Think that I, Aketsuchi Auchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires as an honor.
How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witness, but make it quick. Understood?
Rules can be so unbending at times.
Ugh. Alright.
Yes!
Press. No. It's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so.
Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked.
Did you?
Did you see it? Did you see me blink?
How could I?
And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it.
Have what? Tension! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving a gun at the Englishman.
I think that says it all, don't you? Let us not forget the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korekuta-san? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, and that young lad in black. That much myself I did see.
Whoop, go back. I need to press. Okay.
Yes!
Yes, that may be true I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor.
Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away.
I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, a gunshot rang in my ears.
Full of events beyond our control, life is.
Sorry? What do you mean?
In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises that confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Oh, I did it again.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Might there have been more people dining there at the time, but someone else would have noticed her. Fortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. Quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of the time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason.
There was?
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Counsel?
It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Ata Clinic? Wait, no. Hotta Clinic. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 18th of November, noon past 1 p.m. Very day of the incident.
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case.
Wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke?
Huh? Well, it's hard to see how it can be related, really.
Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence, even if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report to be submitted as evidence? Of course.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds?
The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to this arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon?
You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence.
Very well. The court will grant the defense's request.
Youngsters these days forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend.
Jesus Christ.
He's... Yeah, hashtag cancel ouchie. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you.
You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival, all ready for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kuta-san.
Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Oh, nope, I keep pressing A too fast. Gotta press him.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone.
That I did.
Forgive me for the position I place you in.
So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. This can be clearly seen. There is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one.
No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth?
What? What did you say, cadet?
I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to fail to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Fortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's just not a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But I... If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. Well, I mean, I know with doctors' offices, sometimes, like, I don't know, if he was getting an ancient colonoscopy, maybe he wasn't supposed to eat, or maybe he saw a dentist. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, wait, let me check it first. I don't want you to tell me. I want to figure it out on my own. Clinic. Wait, can I not examine it further? Medical report card. Aw, they want to make sure. Okay. Okay, fine. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You should try opening it. You should try opening the report card, Ryunosuke. You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A. You can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use C-stick up, C-stick left, C-stick down, C-stick right. Oh! Oh! To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left stick, you can look around and observe the perimeter. Look at this font. It's Nippon Helvetica Open Sans. The first. Bold. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. So I need to use... Oh man, this is a... I don't play Street Fighter, so I'm not good at using charge characters. I guess Phoenix Wright's gonna be a charge character. Alright. Look at that. Look at that. It's all bent.
the date record. Oh, look at him. That's pretty. Wow, look at his square jaw. Oh my goodness. It's a high schooler on the right? Are you kidding me? Look at how chiseled his face is. Man, I wish I looked that good in a red headband. Look at his chiseled face. This guy, I bet he does handstand walking. I need to get some sword practice now. Looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point, so you don't like doctors then. Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money for you for the privilege. All when you're already at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient, with a bad case of stubbornness for less. For which the only cure is a very bitter medicine indeed. It says Hut the Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics, almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Ugh, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. Don't want to miss anything. Healthy curiosity awarded. Oh, achievements for me being very nosy. Yeah, let's open that up. Let's break HIPAA regulations. They didn't exist yet. Ooh, okay. I don't chamomile tea does not condone the breakage of HIPAA guidelines. Please don't. Please, please, please. Don't expose people's medical information. That's against the law, and it's very not nice. It's not kosher. Don't do it. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Oh, it's a dentist. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. It's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Oh, it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you from feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Yes. Okay, so it wasn't a colonoscopy or getting his prostate tickled. It was a dentist thing. I was thinking way out of line. But I was also kind of right. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Oh wait, I don't need to read all this. I need that. Yes, wait, just to make sure. Okay. Actually,
Yes!
let me press that one more time, just in case. Okay, then yeah, I gotta present on it. Could I?
Yes!
Oh, he just says yes? Okay. Well, I think,
About what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer?
I wish I could. First and foremost here, I'm the accused.
Yonosuke, everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it.
Thanks, Kazuma.
You see it quite clearly in the cross-examination you just carried out. You raised your hand straight up like that so purposefully. You knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking.
Alright, and thanks for the advice.
Kodakuda-san, this is a medical report belonging to the victim.
Ah, I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy?
Hearing what's written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel.
But
Let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant.
But that's, remember, Yonosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court had heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could have possibly perpetrated the crime.
This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that?
What? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant?
Perhaps because Hotta Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Perhaps if I told you the victim had just had a tooth extracted.
What? This now?
And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating.
Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what?
It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
No, that can't...
Kodakuda-san,
What, my boy? What?
as you've just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally,
There's more?
you've assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. Oh, there's the kathunky thunk disc slam. That's what I've been waiting for. That possibly can't be the case. The victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted, was still experiencing the effects of anesthetic. Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
Ooh. We're getting that objection thing. That objection. What year? This would be objection 1930.
I don't know what year, but objection 19 something.
These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
My voice is cracking. I think I'm dehydrated now.
Use your head. It's the very discrepancy we're talking about, or can't you follow the logic? Dare you?
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So, just having undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. Assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show 'em what you're made of. Oh, every time Asugi is like, being like, oh yeah, it's time to strike, he does the samurai thing where he like, little flicks out his thumb. He flicks out his thumb and like starts to show his blade. He's ready to draw his sword. So, the person eating the steak at this victim's table must have been... me, 2 witnesses, and as of yet. Obviously, it only could have been someone else who's sitting at the professor's table.
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
Yes! Yes, there was, because I saw her.
When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything, yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. The court decides to push through a ruling at this stage. We will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial. Azuma.
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean?
I have issue with them. Those 2 witnesses on the stand. What?
What are you talking about?
We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that 2 of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing.
Complicit in murder? No!
Wait, look at his booty. The sergeant's like clenching his butt so hard. He's like trying to keep a turd held in.
Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders.
Oh no, that's not a good reference. Like,
That's right. As the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us.
oh. What? What did you just say, Korekura-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders?
Now, hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair?
Just one. Just one. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order, order. Counsel, explain what's going on here.
It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this?
Oh no, he's been demoted to cheeky pinker slaps again.
Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
That's classified.
So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you?
You wouldn't. This can't be happening.
Ryunosuke, judging from the way that they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchie had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut? Of course, we'll need evidence before we can make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. How? How can we possibly? Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Yes, that's right. Well, it's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose.
I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing.
And what does the defense have to say about all of this?
Well, Your Excellency. Okay, time to check this. Let's see. Oh, it's a nice badge.
A symbol of Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny. Most emblems seem to be round or rectangular. I like this spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders. A sharp pin for a sharp mind or something? The personal student number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pin, they won't accept you as a Yume student university. You may not come in, they say. Of course, you can get a new pin made if you can just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still don't know my student number by heart. I always say to myself, I mustn't forget to write it down somewhere, but then I forget not to forget that.
What was I doing again? Oh, yes. Shortly, exit wound. Sorry. That's magnifying. It's 2 glass, second glass. Itching. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything at the moment following the incident, but there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw here.
Exactly, and that's not all. Look here in the upper left, where it says kitchen. Hmm? Oh, whatever. Wait. What's the word for kitchen? Because that doesn't look like it says daidokoro. Unless there's a different Japanese word to mean, like, specifically restaurant kitchen. No one else would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry. Oh, well, okay. Well, okay. I called it. I'm a weeb! Oh no, I'm such a weeb! My weebiness is showing. Especially not if they were in a hurry. It's not my fault I can read moon runes. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryunosuke. It's just such an I thought, oh wait, silly you. It's an older, it takes place in an older time, so they had the more complicated words, and then there's a simpler one that everyday colloquial Japanese people use. Yes, I learned to read a second language made up out of a totally different set of characters. The plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything moments following the incident, but there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw. Oh wait, they're just saying it again. Okay. Let's skip that. Okay, so it's just the front. It's not the different areas. But yes, let me flip this around, because the guy did say this was his business card. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Why did he do... How did he mess that up? Why did he... He's an idiot! Oh, it's a vertical card. I'm sorry, right. That explains why the kanji looked weird. Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job? Oh. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? Let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here... Guess we'll check this one. Anything else going on? Just some squiggles. Look at those Western squiggles. I can't read that. Expect me to read these Western scribbles? That's it. No time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only one with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is...
Yes!
Yes! Well, surely that would be... Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. Well, for once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were... Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. Truth about Satoru Hosanaga's real identity is proven by this evidence.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant was sketched by the man in question. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card.
That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Wasanaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of this business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in the question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there, in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene?
Well...
Inspector Hosonaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan now added to the court record as evidence. Oh, well...
Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once.
Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. Strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter?
Ah, of course. Your salary must be terrible.
I was working undercover. This is roasting. Undercover. Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide.
Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point for the court.
Of course, Your Excellency.
We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency.
Unbelievable.
As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once.
It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest to not pursue that idea. The Empire views friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. This Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an English woman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first.
Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector.
The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical faculty.
What is happening here?
I admit that I was under orders from the police bureau. I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with this situation.
Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we now have discovered, this premise is false. It would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection!
But, Your Excellency, that would be missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes, sir? You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with utmost urgency. Once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. It must be stressful. Nothing will get in my way.
Alright, all my... You know, he kind of looks like... Oh, those are kind of My Hero spoilers. Well, no, if I say the person's name, it's not a spoiler. He looks like a character called Sir Night-Eye. And I will leave that there.
The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Yes, honey. Yes, Your Excellency.
Yes, I want that screenshot. Yes. Delicious.
Good. We will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening.
Hey, I think that's a good point to call it. Hey, that's a good save jingle. Thanks for coming to watch this. I'll need to reevaluate this voice thing. Like, I actually got all the way through it, but there's gonna be so many characters, probably. So... And I don't have a very large vocal range, but I'll try my best. It's pretty fun to do. Though it does stop me from telling stories. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. Have someone join me. Yeah, quarantine and all that, but yeah, definitely. That'd be interesting if I could get a little couch. Though I'd have to make sure that my VTube model doesn't talk for everyone. Discord. Discord is a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, I'll try that out. I'll think on it. But as always, thank you all for coming and have a great evening. I'll see you all around. And I get addicted to Ace Attorney, so I'll probably play a lot of it, especially on the weekend. I'll probably do really long sessions. Night, everyone.